A truck driver has been sentenced to a curfew and 200 hours community work for dangerous driving causing the death of a cyclist in Christchurch in 2014. David Connell killed Taiwanese tourist Ming Chi She when he turned into his path at a busy intersection. He crushed him beneath his B-train truck and trailer. Connell was also disqualified from driving for 12 months and ordered to pay $7,000 in reparation to his victim's family. But it's the second time Connell has been found guilty of dangerous driving causing the death of a cyclist. We're joined now by our Christchurch reporter, Conan Young, via live view. Thank you for being with us, Conan. Where are you standing there in Christchurch and why are you there?
Well, John, look, I'm actually at the intersection where almost 2 years ago now, Ming Chi She was actually run over. I'm sure you can see here we've got the cycle lane that he was actually sitting in. This was the lane next to it, was where the truck driven by David Connell was stationed. David Connell moved around this corner here into this next street and didn't even see Ming Chi She here on his cycle, dragged him quite a few metres down this other street here before he even realised he had somebody underneath him. That was actually something that was brought to his attention by another motorist. When he was convicted, the judge said, look, even though he had that blind spot in his truck where he couldn't see the cyclist, he should have actually waited until Ming Chi She had cycled out, and you can see there in front of him, and just was careless in not doing that.
This is the second time, Conan, that Connell has been sentenced for careless driving causing the death of a cyclist. What can you tell us about the first incident?
Yes, look, in 2005, Connell was convicted of careless driving causing the death of a cyclist. This was a Stephen Avery, a cyclist that he ran into in another truck he was driving at night time. However, Stephen Avery was well lit at the time on his bike, and at that time he was disqualified from driving for 9 months and given a $2,000 fine, but was allowed to continue driving, something that Stephen Avery's sister, Leslie Avery, said she was disgusted about when she heard that he had actually done this a second time.
Yes, so he was allowed to continue driving. He killed Ming Chi She. What can you tell us about Ming Chi She himself?
Look, he was a 33-year-old who was on a cycling tour around New Zealand. He had really lived life to the full, you'd have to say. Just a few weeks before this horrible tragedy, he'd actually been swimming with humpback whales in Tonga and visited a volcano, a live volcano in Vanuatu, so somebody who really lived life to the full. Look, I've got to say it's interesting though, even though this was the second time that David Connell had been convicted of something like this, the judge today, Gary McCaskill, he said, look, he was remorseful, that he really did regret what he had done. He said that, and he quoted from David Connell's probation report. This is a quote from David Connell: "It eats away at me every day. I wish I could turn back the clock, but I can't." Another really interesting thing that the judge said today is that he's ordered an inquest, and he wants the issue of cameras being placed on trucks to give drivers a better insight into these blind spots that they have at the moment. And he said, look, the judge said if anything good can come out of this case, it'll be changes to the regulations to ensure something like this doesn't happen again.
Conan Young, who was joining us live from the spot where this fatal accident occurred.